Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Pipe Bomb Sessions, baby. And wow, did WWE really put a stamp on this Australia trip? Let me tell you guys, man, shoot. Ever since WrestlePalooza, at least in my opinion, I feel like they got slapped in the face by none other than their new people that they literally just signed a contract with ESPN, man. Like, shoot. If that's not a bigger slap in the face, after that WrestlePalooza grade and what all the executives over there thought, I don't know what was. Of course, I'm sure everybody else heard the same rumors I did about creative changes and, basically everybody getting overhauled, especially starting with SmackDown last week. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who looked at SmackDown and was like, wait a minute. This is actually pretty lit right now. Like, what's going on? And, of course, most likely we're getting a setup, just from what I saw. Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. Cody's WWE title. They're going to do a number one contenders match, in my opinion. They could do it as soon as SmackDown coming up, or... And this is what I think they're going to do. Most likely save it for a couple weeks. I believe Saturday night's main event is happening on November 1st, if I am correct. If that's happening, I could definitely see them waiting it out 2 weeks for that. Of course, they're probably going to brawl a little bit, go at each other's necks while that happens. So, hey, I'm cool with it. Not a problem at all. And who else did we see return? We saw my boy Shinsuke Nakamura return after several months away, and I'm so happy, excited, because he returned as a face, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Shinsuke is back. He's a face for the first time in I don't even know how long. This is what I wanted to see. I think this is what a lot of people wanted to see, because Shinsuke as a heel just wasn't working. And I don't understand why they were so persistent on keeping him as that character, as the heel character, when clearly it just wasn't meshing well with him, the fans, the crowd. I mean, people love Shinsuke when he first arrived. And I get it, you had a little twist at Mania all those years back and had him turn heel. And then I feel like his momentum's just been downhill ever since, right? So why don't we get Shinsuke back to a face, back to seeing how Shinsuke can be once again the king of strong style and have the crowd behind him, just like he did to that amazing pop on SmackDown, right? And of course, he came out for Sami Zayn's US Open Challenge. He was not successful in capturing the title, but that's because Solo Sikoa and the MFTs decided to put on some war paint and said, yo, we back. And they brought in Tama Tonga as well. So welcome back, Tama Tonga. I feel like that was a little bit of an energy we were missing from that group. Now that group looks like it's pretty big and dominating right now. Obviously, Solo's most likely looking to capture his US title back. We saw later on in the show, they actually confronted the tag champs, the Wyatt Six. So this is interesting to me. Is this what I heard a few months ago where, maybe we have the Wyatt Six versus Solo's MFT group, right? So now that we see this going on, I mean, I'm honestly a little impressed. Both groups need something to do, and what better way to do something than get into a heated rivalry that's gonna last most likely for the upcoming month and could possibly even conclude in a double steel cage, double ring War Games matchup. Hey, I know not a lot of people are gonna be hyped on it, but at the end of the day, this is what we may be getting. So, I'm not opposed to it. Another person, I don't know if I want to consider her as a return, but hey, she returned and she's now side by side with her man's Aleister Black. Zelina Vega is back, and man, Zelina, wow, she at first was trying to beg Priest not to basically kill Black. And then it was just all a ruse and a distraction for Black to throw a fireball in Priest's face and win the matchup. That rivalry is going to keep continuing. I don't know if this is the setup for Lola Vice now getting called up from NXT, or is it going to be like one of those things where maybe Priest needs someone else's help? Of course, the Terror Twins are there, but Rhea is busy right now on Raw. However, let's see how this pans out, right? Very interested in that part. Now, of course, everyone who watched Crown Jewel knows the results. Those of you who missed it, Stephanie Vaquer is the new Women's Crown Jewel champ. And Seth Rollins is the new Men's Crown Jewel champ. Guys, on top of the world, ladies and gentlemen. My man has been chilling ever since he got the Vision together. He got Paul Heyman on his side at Mania about 6 months ago. He's been on top, right? And he's been doing it all by himself. Wrong! He's had, obviously, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to help him out all the freaking time. And perhaps, maybe they're just feeling a little neglected. Like, hey, you know, Rollins got all this pull and he has them doing all this work. Why haven't they even attempted to go after the tag titles right now? That doesn't even make sense. I mean, it's not like the Judgment Day are defending them every week anyways. You might as well give it to those two guys. You let the Vision rule Raw as, you know, Rollins and Heyman and Co. keep saying they are, right? That makes sense, right? Now, man, a lot came out of Crown Jewel. I think a lot more came out of that Raw. Of course, we saw, just to pivot real quick, really quick, right? We saw the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, come out, try to help Roman. Of course, that cost Roman the matchup, and Bronson Reed ended up winning the street fight. Now, that's interesting because Roman said specifically he didn't want their help. That's not how things work anymore. That's how they used to do things. He's trying to prove a point. On Raw, Jay's upset that Roman blamed him, right? He's talking with Jimmy. Then he's explaining to Jimmy how, like, he can't have his back because last time he wasn't fully prepped for his number one contenders matchup, for his matchup in general, and he ended up losing. Jimmy just stopped him. I like Jimmy's attitude in this segment on Raw because Jimmy stopped him and said, yo, do you, I'm gonna do me. Jay really didn't like that. And obviously Jay came out to help his brother out a little bit later when he was getting beat up after the match. But, same thing. I feel like this whole Jimmy and Jay dynamic, unsure on what they're attempting to do with it, but I do like now Jimmy is not the guy just taking L after L, right? Like, he's not the one just taking it from this man, right? Obviously, a matchup where Penta has lost another IC matchup, by the way, guys, to Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom used a hammer. Very, very smart, actually, way for him to get the win over Penta. However, now he has Rusev coming after him next week. I do think Dirty Dom's going to find a way to cheat his way, retaining again. In my opinion, give us Dirty Dom versus John Cena at one of these next appearances that Cena has. Let him take the IC title and become Grand Slam champion. I honestly don't mind it. Cena does indeed only have a few appearances. Maybe have him get the IC title, followed by possibly even get Sheamus to return and we run the classic Sheamus versus Cena matchup. Boom. That way Cena is already Grand Slam champ. Sheamus gets his Grand Slam championship. I think that would work for all parties involved, and that would be great. I feel like we just need a little bit of spice in that sense, right? And, I mean, Cena's accomplished almost everything. That IC title's evaded him. Let's give it to him, man. If he has a shot to get it, give it to him. Screw it, man. I don't mind at all. So, man, and apparently another thing that wasn't really minded was Bayley. She didn't mind Lyra slapping the hell out of her to, I'm going to say, quote-unquote, activate the other side of Bayley. And once that Bayley was activated, she was straight up just freaking hammering the Judgment Day, Roxanne, and oh my god, Roxanne and Raquel, I apologize, just killing them and ended up getting the victory for them. Later on, we see Roxanne confront Stephanie Vaquer in a little bit of a promo segment where it seems like she's going to be challenging, coming after Stephanie next for that women's world title. Hey, that is going to be a good matchup all around. Stephanie Vaquer has honestly been on top of the world ever since she's even come into WWE. Like, she's been just excellent all around NXT. Now the main roster. She's just been a winner, man. I can't even think of who's been this successful this quickly. I don't even know, man. Like, she's been doing awesome, personally. And good for her. Keep it up. I'm sure that momentum's just gonna keep on going. So let's say, I'm cool with it. I'm on the train. Why not? Now, 2 guys I want to touch base on, right? Especially one of them who I thought, and everybody else, including the visionary himself, Seth Rollins, thought was on board and on the train, and that's the Vision, the group of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, specifically Braun Breaker. Now, Rollins opened Monday Night Raw talking about he's on top of the world now. He did it all by himself. He didn't need anyone. He's like saying all this and that, right? A very, very selfish comments he's making, it seems like. Braun Breaker, you see him kind of like, maybe eyeing Rollins, eyeing his title, just thinking like, hey, like, we've been here this whole time helping you out through and through, and you're telling us that basically we're nothing, we're nobody. I thought we were on top. I feel like that's kind of where this was going. Backstage segment, he kind of says the same thing. He feels something big on the horizon, something huge. So something to note, during that backstage segment, ladies and gentlemen, Rollins definitely was showing signs of his hurt shoulder. He didn't even put his arm fully down, his left arm. If you go back and see that segment, you can clearly see that he has his arm in the sling position the whole time he's speaking in the backstage segment. I find that very, very interesting because obviously we all know the rumor about Rollins getting his shoulder hurt during the Cody matchup. He was seen in a sling from multiple people and sources just around. And also, I mean, I'm hearing it could be severe, it could be not severe, I'm not really sure. Oh man, and then obviously at the end of the night, what happens, right? We're having a good main event for a number 1 contenders matchup. Punk, LA Knight, Uso. Punk ends up hitting Jey Uso with the GTS for the victory. The Vision comes out, they take care of Punk, take him out, right? Now, the thing is though, and I think this is very, very just straightforward and right there, just the mere fact that after Punk gets taken out, we see them all like, standing there, all happy. Out of nowhere, bang! Braun Breaker breaks Seth Rollins in half. Paul Heyman is in shock and all freaking out, saying, "What are you doing?" Bronson Reed, surprisingly, has not that much of a reaction. He's kind of looking at Braun. He's kind of looking at Rollins just laying there, just took that spear. And it seems like he's just sitting there like, Braun Breaker tells Bronson, you got a choice to make. My man, Ozilla, did not even hesitate to give his former rival Rollins a couple of tsunamis. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. So it seems like Rollins is A, either written off, or B, since he has the title, he's going to have to relinquish the title. I don't know if he's going to have shoulder surgery per se. I kept hearing that, yes, Rollins is going to need shoulder surgery. And that's going to put him on the shelf, obviously. In my opinion, Punk's number 1 contender. He's going to need someone to face. Might be just Braun Breaker. Maybe Braun Breaker just steps in. He tells Paul Heyman, like, he wants, he wants the title. If Rollins is out, he gets it. So, I mean, that could be it. I can see Rollins' shoulder injury being the reason why they probably really expedited and moved this so quickly for them breaking up just 6 months after they just formed, you know? So I don't know what's their next move. I think the whole War Games matchup between possibly like the Vision versus someone else, that's all obviously now off the. That's just off. I don't think that's even going to happen anymore. Truth be told. Question now though is what's happening at War Games? What's happening with Rollins in the world title? Is Rollins actually hurt? We literally got swerved like this with a damn knee injury. So like, yes, do I want to believe it? Absolutely. Do I hesitate about believing it? Absolutely. Because, man, we've gotten tricked heavy on this before. And what makes you think WWE ain't really just going to try to do this one more time on us, right? So it's like, what is going to happen? What are we looking at? And, I mean, honestly speaking, who's next up? If Rollins is indeed out, shoot. There's no more like huge heels. Like, did the Bronze now turn face? Did Rollins turn face? Did neither happen? Were they just tired of taking orders from Rollins? Possibly. They didn't like how Rollins was talking, you know, since he won that crown jewel. It could really be like just a handful of reasons. I'm unsure on how to go about and think about it. I don't know. Let's honestly see how this is gonna go, and let's see what the future holds, right? Now, speaking of the future, a lot of people are speculating and talking about John Cena's final opponent. Who's he gonna be facing in DC come December? Oh man, we only have a few months left, and shoot, this farewell tour. Let me tell you, that heel run, that was aight. But ever since my man turned back into a face, he's been putting on bangers, man. They've been awesome and great. Now, someone who said on the New Heights podcast. Now, for those of you not familiar with the New Heights podcast, that is Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelsey, the Kelsey brothers podcast that they run, and they had a special guest this week. That man was none other than the final boss, The Rock. Now, what does The Rock say? He said he doesn't mind being, you know, Cena's final opponent. He says he really has little influence on that decision, however, because at the end of the day, Cena's final opponent will be chosen by John Cena. You know, it ain't gonna be anyone like Nick Khan, TKO, Triple H, no one. It's gonna be Cena who's gonna be picking it. That's what The Rock is saying. He has little influence on it. However, he did put his name into the bag of freaking maybes. So, hey, if we see them run it back one last time, that would be epic. Do I see it happening? Very slim to none, I think. However, do we want it to happen? Hey, man, I'll be honest. I don't mind. If we can't get Edge out of AEW, I'm cool with getting the final boss. I'm cool with that. No worries. I mean, look at who we got. Other opponents. The Rock wouldn't be the worst guy that Cena had to face last opponent. But, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to tell me who you guys think should be John Cena's final opponent. And what do you guys think of that aspect that The Rock is putting his name into the mix as well? Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much once again, as usual, tuning into Pipe Bomb Sessions. Appreciate that. All in all, don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys next week.